All right, here we go, everybody. Hello, I hope all of you are doing very well. Welcome to the Real Tarot 1123. This is going to be a reading for this whole drama that's going on about Sean John Combs, or in other words, P. Diddy. There's a lot that's going on with regards to the case, and a lot of information, evidence, yada yada, all that good stuff. So I thought, why not just do a reading and see what the energy is around with regards to this whole situation. I do have his date of birth as being November 4th, 1969. So I'm just going to take that for what it is. And we will just see what the energy is, whether he's guilty or not, of course. But before I get into any of that, let me just say this is for entertainment purposes only. These are my observations and my opinions. Do your own research, do your own due diligence, form your own conclusions, and these are all allegedlys. Okay, there. So let's get started. All right. So let's just see. So if he's November 4th, he's definitely a Scorpio, correct? Yeah. I will say, though, not delving too much into, not going to delve too deeply into his astrology. There is a chance that whatever court case is going on, not all of them are going to stick. There is one, again, disclaimer, allegedly, again, these are my observations and my opinions. Do your own research, do your own due diligence, form your own conclusions. He is actually going to turn around and sue somebody. And if he chooses to do that, and now don't get me wrong, whoever it is who has sued him or not sued him, filed a case against him, yada yada, all that's going on the one side. On the other side, I feel this fellow, P. Diddy, is going to turn around and file a case against somebody and sue them, and actually he's going to win. Now, I'm not going to delve too deeply, at least in this next month, in the month of May. That's what I foresee. I'm not going to get into the astrology because I'm not doing astrology. Astrology is like, it'll take forever for me to do a reading on that. So I'm just throwing that out there. In the month of May, if he chooses to file a case against an individual, he is definitely going to win that case. Now, this case that this victim has filed on him, that's going to go ahead on one side. And I don't know if you'll caught it. I just saw it really quick. There was this way. There was a little orb that flew by. I'm going to have to rewatch this video to capture the exact timestamp on it. I don't have any incense burning today. I just have this candle, which is in front of me. So there's no way that could be the candle. Oh, this candle smells so good, y'all. Yeah. Okay, let me not get distracted. Let's get on with this. We do have Neptune and we have the Sun card, okay? And we have Mercury. Now his third house, when I had done some numbers for him, I did get 4th house, 3rd house and 8th house. 4th house is Aquarius, 3rd house is Capricorn, and 8th house is Gemini. So we do have Neptune over here, right? Then we have Mercury and the Sun. All right, let's get on with this. If there are any arrests that are going to actually come about with regards to this man, P. Diddy, I do believe it is going to happen around the time of the solar eclipse, for sure. And then we have Mercury. Mercury is also pretty intense. So Mercury is all about speed. Mercury is all about flipping, right? If he is under the illusion that he's going to be fine, if he is under the illusion that he is going to be fine, he's not going to be fine, because he's very ego driven. Things are going to flip on a dime, and if any arrests are going to be made, I do believe it's going to come around by the eclipse, solar eclipse that we're going to see in a couple of weeks now. Now keep in mind the energies of eclipses, be it solar or lunar. Some people say 3 months in advance and 3 months later. Some people say a month in advance, month later, a week, etc., whatever. So that depends on where the sun is in your chart and how many degrees. So that also does make a big difference. But having said that, if he's under any illusion that he's going to be fine, Judgment. And do we have the 5, which is the Hierophant, Taurus, right? And then we have the Magician. Look, it's there's a lot of announcements, lot of talk. As we already know, there is a lot of noise about this in the press. This is not secretive. Everybody is all about it. It's been going on for a bit. I'm not inventing the wheel here. It's all there in the news. But having said that, there is a particular relationship that he is having in all these years, that is going to be very, very crucial, very critical in terms of how this whole thing is going to come to a head, and how it's going to kind of evolve and finish. Now, mind you, this relationship has got nothing to do with the male. It has everything to do with the female. For some reason, that during the process of whatever this case is, this primary case that's going on, or it will go on, or whatever, this particular situation with regards to this female is kind of sort of going to, it's like this case is going in this direction, and all of a sudden it switches here, and then the focus will be on his relationship with this female, and it's going to kind of really kind of surpass, overtake, get louder than the original case. Not to diminish the original case or whoever is filing the original case, but it's for some reason I'm being shown that it's going to go in this direction, and this is going to be even more salacious and even more serious. Now, I'm not in any way, shape or form diminishing the fact, or in any way trying to minimize the seriousness, the authenticity, the turmoil that this young person is, this male who is filing this case against him. I'm not in any way saying that it's not. It's genuine, it's true, but I feel like the case is kind of going to divert. But also remember, around the month of May, if he does choose, if Diddy does choose to file a case against somebody else which he's working on, that case he's going to win. So I feel like there are multiple things going on here. Then we have the Sun and the Hierophant. So the Hierophant is a Taurus energy. Yes, we do know it's institutions. We do know it is, organizations, power, etc. And it's right under the Sun card. I will say, the 188119, I will say that he definitely has some sort of a, should I say partnership, or should I say with political figures. So he's not going to hesitate to reach out to them for some sort of comfort or solace, or some sort of a, hey, minimize the seriousness of this, or get me out of this situation, or that sort of a thing. Attempts are being made. Attempts will continue to be made. Also in terms of trying to, oh God, I'm not recording on this computer. Dang, what am I doing? Anyway, one is recording, we'll leave it. It's almost like working with authority, working with big institutions. Now, institutions could be government, hospitals, law, police, yada yada. We all know that, right? Almost working with those higher institutions. And since this card is coming after the Judgment card, I will say I wouldn't be surprised if he is trying to maneuver coerce, negotiate, ask. I almost want to say plead, but that's probably stretching it too much, because this man is so egotistical, to try to strategically maneuver, move things around such that this whole thing will not be such a big issue at the end of the day. Now, I'm not saying that this case is going to get thrown out. No, it's not. But try to minimize the salaciousness of it. And then we have Mercury, and then we have the Magician. Now, the Magician is, according to the tarot, a Mercury card, and it does talk about communication. It does talk about the ability to create something, the ability to move, the ability to travel. Yes, now in terms of his ability to create is pretty good over there, because, you know, obviously he's an artist, he's a musician, so he's creative. Mercury also is, you know, having the ability to switch channels, to switch the I was going to say modality. I don't know why the word modality is popping up, but to really flexible enough to switch strategies, right? And he does have the ability to create. Now, so, well, I shouldn't say it's odd. I mean, this is a regular tarot deck, right? It almost looks like, I mean, I'm just pointing this out, okay? Can you see that? Can you see that here? It looks like a turntable disc, right? Anyway, he is very, very creative. So he thinks his creativity, his status, his power is going to somehow diminish the salaciousness of this case. He's very cognizant of the fact that this case is not going to go away. It's not going to kind of just go poof, but it's not going to be, he's hoping and he's counting on the fact that it's not going to be as big as what everybody's making it out to be. Okay? So, I don't know which deck to use, but I'll use this one for a second. And to the other deck. Give me a second, y'all. 20, 30, 40, 43, 44. That's 8th house again. So let's see. And what is the 8th house? 8th house is all about wills, secrets, etc. Right? 3rd house, as I said earlier, is about communication. And the 4th house, it's about home and family. Okay, so 25, 26, 8th house. It's going to be a bit messy for him, as much as he may be hoping that it's not going to get so salacious. There's a lot of stuff that's going to come out in the open. Wills, secrets, death, you know, that sort of thing. Yes, there is absolutely, based on what I'm seeing here right now, the 8th house is so strong. And 8th house, as we know, is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 is the Scorpio. And guess what? He is a Scorpio. I don't know the exact time of birth, but if you look at his astrology, I feel the month of May, there is a brief period of time where he's actually going to do good, surprisingly good for himself. And there is a great seeking of refuge, 12, hang on one second. So 60, 70, 100, 130, 170. 10th house, okay. And the 10th house is courage, reputation, morals, and life goals. He's going to be seeking refuge, so maybe attempt at saying, oh, you know what, all this happened while I was under the influence of, I didn't do it, somebody else manipulated me, somebody else forced me to do it, it's really not me, I'm just a gopher, you know, somebody else is responsible, I was just doing what I was told, that sort of stuff. And that's his way, by seeking refuge in that falsity, because his claim that somebody else made him do it, or he's really not responsible, there's somebody else who's really calling the shots, he's trying to shift the blame and lessen the burden and lessen the guilt, and he's hoping that by doing so he will be able to restore his life back to where it was. Now, this is a weird thing that's popped up here. We are talking about rituals and ceremonies. Now, before everybody loses their, their cap over here, their hat over here, and says, oh, he's into all this black magic and ritual and this and that and all that stuff. I'm not getting into all of that, but it does seem that I would not be surprised if he has sought the assistance or sought the direction or sought the advice or such of direction or advice or guidance from spiritualists. I'm going to leave it at that. Take it for what it is. Now then we also have fertility and multiplicity, and then contemplation. There is going to be a lot of talk with regards to him and his case and whatever is going on, even with regards to his progeny. So all that, I don't even know why, but all that's also going to be drawn up. It's like, if the case is, if the young man who has filed this case, I'm saying young man, I honestly don't know the the age of the person, but the gentleman who has filed this case, this allegation against this P. Diddy, for some reason I feel that in the mix of all this, even questions about his progeny or the kids are going to be, it's like everything is going to be brought out into the open to be washed and dried or to be sifted through, but primarily his kids also. So I'm not understanding why that's popping up here, but we'll get to it. Okay. Then we have contemplation. It seems like contemplating an impossible plan. So while all this is, let's just say this, okay? As we all know, by the time such a case, such a scandalous thing comes out in the news and we, the public, general public, hear of it, doesn't mean it just happened yesterday, day before. These things have probably been going on for a while, and by the time it comes to head, then we hear it. So it's not like it happened yesterday and they published it today, although in some cases that's possible, but this has been cooking for a while. So there's been a lot of contemplation, a lot of effort put in on almost an impossible plan. I don't know what that plan is, but doesn't seem the plan is not very up and up. It does have I don't want to use the word sinister, but that is the only word I can think of. It does have a sinister connotation to it, okay? So we have self-atonement, political authority. Y'all, his political connections are real, y'all. There is no doubting that. See, okay, give me a second. Let's just, again, I'm back to the time when I want to kind of make everything look neat here. We have self-atonement, political authority, intellectual talents, the fortune and the fame aspect of it, and a lot of streetwise elegance is going to be used. There is almost a idea that he has been floating in his head, that he wants to almost make himself look like a victim himself, or more than a victim. I want to use the word martyr, but I don't know why though. It's not like he's planning on doing anything, crazy to himself, but I don't know why that word is popping up. But he's trying to atone himself, and like I said earlier, it's almost like looks like I'm caught, looks like I'm taking the fall for it, but in all honesty, I'm not the one who is responsible for it. Somebody else is. I'm just a go-to guy. I'm just that sort of a thing. And it's so weird. I'm sure a lot of these naysayers and a lot of cuckoo people who do watch my videos, they'll be like, oh yeah, she's got ulterior motives, that's why she's not, but for some reason my eyes are very shifty, like all over. Those of you who have watched my videos know I look straight in the camera, or sometimes look up, but for this thing, it's almost like my attention is being drawn here, drawn there, drawn there, drawn there. It's like I want to look everywhere else, but really at what is crucial over here. You know what I mean? So there is going to be a lot of attempt, a lot of effort, a lot of energy put into trying to divert attention to other aspects, other areas, other people, other situations, other cases. But it's not going to work out for him. He is definitely trying to really pull in his connections, his resources, his connections, his influence, his networking, his ties to political people to help him. Also, for some reason, his intellectual talent is something that he is going to try his level best to protect. And then his fortune and fame. So what I'm trying to say is, he knows he's going to have to take a fall. How bad of a fall, I don't know at this time. He doesn't know. He's like, yeah, whatever it is, I feel like I know I'm going to have to take a fall. So before I do that, let me safeguard my intellectual property, my talents, my fame, my fortune, whatever all that is tangible, intangible stuff is. Try to take care of all of that so that when he takes that fall, it's not going to affect his fame, fortune, his talent, his intellectual property, that sort of stuff. There is going to be okay, let's go back for a minute to, that whole interview, what's his name, that R. Kelly did with some journalist, where he denied up and down that, he is a abuser or molester or whatever, and he denied up and down, and he was like, so whatever. I wouldn't be surprised if this one puts out something quite like that, and he's going to be very elegant when he does that. He's going to be like super savvy, his whole demeanor, his whole body language is going to be so much more like when people watch that, they're going to believe him more than whoever watched that R. Kelly video. In other words, he's going to be more convincing. He's going to be very, he's very, this fellow is very good at covering his tracks, y'all. That's what I'm going to say. Streetwise, he's very smart. He's very good at covering his tracks. Okay, so as much as, all this stuff is coming out in the open, I do feel in a lot of the sub cases, for lack of a better term, not all of them are going to be acknowledged. Some of them are going to get thrown out purely because of lack of evidence. But those who know that the evidence is there. It's just that the authorities can't get their hands on it. Like, if he, for example, I'm not going to say the exact words like I said, allegedly is my observations, my opinions, do your own research, whatever. Like, if for example, somebody watched him drop a cup of coffee, right? and somebody else was called to clean up everything, and it all got cleaned up, and you would never know that the coffee was dropped and the cup shattered and maybe even nicked the flooring a little bit. There would be absolutely no trace of it, absolutely no trace. But those who were around and witnessed this do know where there are traces still available, but the authorities won't know where to look for it, if you get what I mean. So and it's not the first time, or it's not just one time that such a drastic thing has occurred. Directly or indirectly, I will say he has been in the midst of a lot of strife with regards to the particular industry that he is in. He's a very smart, very street savvy fellow, very, very smart. There is going to be a false perception of unity that is going to pop up with regards to his relationship and with another very popular, very famous person in the industry, be it an artist, a manager, a performer, a production company, whatever. There is that perception of unity is going to, they're going to pitch it for all it's worth, but it's very false. Now, okay, hang on one second. This card, okay. So we have as good as he is about covering his tracks, and he feels that not all of it is going to come out in the wash, there has also been a lot of attempt made in spiritual communication. And when I say spiritual communication here, I'm not going to say like, oh, he's tried to have a seance and that sort of stuff. If he has, well, he has. But there is some sort of a I have to be careful how I say it, because people will be like, oh, that's a lot of bah humbug. Well, screw it. People are going to say what they're going to say anyway, right? Everybody is entitled to their opinion. I almost feel like he has been haunted by, well, I shouldn't say I almost feel like, I do believe he has been haunted by certain people from his past. And he has sought protection. He has sought whatever that protection may be, maybe going to a padre and saying, come and bless my house, or whatever he has, that's rattled him. And it has rattled him, okay, whether he acknowledges it or not. Now, we have this whole love and submission and cruelty and that sort of a thing. I will say that hey, that's the kind of stuff that floats some people's boats, right? As I say, whatever man, or woman, as long as it is between two consenting adults, then it's like, okay, well, whatever, right? But when one of them is not consenting to it, or if it's being forced upon somebody, or if it's with a juvenile or a person who is in any way, shape or form not capable of making appropriate decisions, then that is criminal. So there is this great interest, need, inclination towards that sort of relationships. Now, I'm going to call it relationships. They could be relationship, as we know in the context of, couple relationships, so that sort of a thing. Or it could also be that sort of thing is what floats his boat. So read it for what take it for what it's worth. Use your own judgment. Then we have this unhappy voyage into. There has been. Let me rephrase that. There has been somebody who has who is on his side, on his team, or somebody known to him, family friend, you know, that sort of thing, who has on occasion tried to kind of gently suggest to him, hey, you gotta tone it down, be careful, watch yourself, watch your back, you know, that sort of a thing. But if he had, and you know, we're talking about P. Diddy, right? So if he had only listened, if he had taken that individual's advice, I don't think it would have come to this extent. And there has been times where he has brief moments of regret, feeling ashamed, feeling disgusted with himself, and sought to be purified of this particular aspect to his character. And there have been brief periods of time when he has sought to work on himself and say, okay, I'm really going to kind of stop with these shenanigans and focus on this, focus on that. But for him, it's all about power. Okay, so whatever, he understands one thing is like, power is indisputable, right? Undisputable, indisputable. And he wants to have that kind of power in his industry, in his life, and almost not just wanting to have that power, but wanting to imply that he has become that powerful simply and surely because of his talents. But that's not how he became powerful. That's not only how he became powerful. Even if he were a person who, he's very driven, even if he were a person who is top of the ladder, there is always a feeling and a need to accomplish more, to be even more powerful. There have been more, but see, I will tell you, this guy, he knows when to back down. He knows when to say, okay, man, that's fine. He knows when to do it. He knows when to kind of pull back and say, all right, no problem. But he will go back to the drawing board. He will plan. He will figure out. He'll come back and attack again. He's very smart. He's very smart. Intellectually, I feel that he is smart. He is good at planning and doing all those things. But the 8th house is very, very prominent for him here. It's popping up like really very strongly for him in this reading. There are a lot of secrets. 8th house, very briefly, it does talk about will, secrets, the occult, death, regeneration, that sort of a thing. I do believe that certain individuals around him have unfortunately come to pass. Okay, so I'm going to leave that there. He's got very good political connections, business investments with politicians as well, or political people. So we have, this is hiding behind this, grandeur, rectification, and fruition. Ego, very, very egotistical, okay? And if he had, like I said, taken the advice of whoever that one person was I talked about just a brief period ago, if he had taken that person's advice and said, okay, fine, you know, I've accomplished all of this, let me just enjoy it and not be so greedy as to go after more, and kind of rectified and kind of pulled back, rectified some of his actions or some of his thought process, some of his inclinations, and kind of pulled back on his unrestrained living, he would have been even more successful, really, in terms of his career and his finances. And his relationship with his significant other would have come to fruition. Now, I don't know whether he's currently in a relationship, married, or has a girlfriend or whatever. I don't know, but there is a dissatisfaction that that particular relationship didn't come into fruition or didn't last the way it should have. Now, for some reason, that relationship is also what I feel is, remember I spoke about a female is connected with that, if you know what I mean. Okay. Oh, excuse me. Well, this candle is so good, and I tried this with soy candles, with whatever beeswax, whatever. I think it's just the scented oils that I am allergic to, because the moment I light candles and all that stuff, I start sniffing. This is called Sand and Paws. It's basically for, it says inspired at Dog Beach on the California coast. I know where that Dog Beach is. When I was in California, I used to take my Tigger and Alabash to the Dog Beach. It's in San Diego County, so I know where that is. A really cool place. But on a side note, I found this candle and it was just sitting there. Mark got it for me. I don't know when he got it for me. And I was like, hell, let's just light the candle. It's so good, y'all. It says coconut and palm. So, and it genuinely smells. No, they have not sponsored. They have not given me this candle as a gift or anything like that. This is something that I bought. No, I didn't buy. Mark bought it for me. And it's specifically made for doggy odors. I mean, we don't have any doggy odor at the moment, but it's nice, so I'm just going to burn it, right? All right, let's take a... how am I holding it? Okay, there we go. I did a reading for Melissa or Marissa, that young mother of 5 who's disappeared, Marissa from Greensboro or whatever. I did a reading maybe last Tuesday or Wednesday. It was about 38 minutes, and y'all, I have no idea why I just didn't. I uploaded it on YouTube and then I pulled it down because I just wasn't comfortable for some reason. I was... Very rarely does it happen, like very rarely, but for some reason I kept thinking I shouldn't upload that video and I took it down. So, anyhow, I don't know why though, but... So we have the 3 of Swords, we have the Tower card in the reverse, and what is this guy? This is the Knight of Wands in the reverse also, and then we have the 6 of Swords in the upright. This whole, at the moment I'm going to use the word just for the sake of technicality, I'm going to say conspiracy theory, okay, because until the evidence is like right then and it's proven beyond doubt that he did it or not, this whole conspiracy theory that he has been responsible directly or indirectly for certain individuals to have passed, I'm going to say that's highly possible. Again, these are allegedly, these are my observations, my opinions. This is just tarot. Do your own research, do your own due diligence, and form your own conclusions. and this is for entertainment only. I'm going to go so far as to say 3 individuals. But let me assure you that he is not alone in this, okay? He has most certainly had, you can't, like, you know, you can't do things like this without certain people being aware of what transpired, without having your core group who is around you knowing the details about, you know, such. And for the primary thing here, I will say is that one female who has passed. I don't know why the female's energy is, who has passed, is like so strong here. But anyhow, it'll come later. Then we have the Tower card. Now the Tower card, again, it's Mars, and it does talk about deception, sudden change, unexpected, you know, things crumbling down, so something else can come up. I'm going to go so far as to say that this particular individual's elimination was to stop that individual from doing things or actions, stop that individual's actions which would have stopped that individual, because that individual's actions would have caused his reputation, career, his empire to come crumbling down. And then we have the Knight of Wands in the reverse. So that tells me that that whole creativity, that the energy of being free and being able to do whatever he wanted would have been put to a stop if that individual had been given the opportunity to continue doing what she intended to do. Then we have the Six of Swords. I will say that individual tried very desperately to leave everything behind and walk away, but somehow, and he too is trying very hard to distance himself from that one particular case more so than anything else. We know that there's a lot of allegations about him being responsible for another male singer who has passed, right? Responsible for in that case. But I feel that this female thing is more like stronger, this energy. I'm not saying that, you know, I haven't seen any evidence, and again, I'm not a detective or a forensic expert or anything like that, but this case is more like in my face. Queen of Pentacles, Nine of Pentacles, and 15, which is the Devil card in the reverse. See, he is not about settling out of court. He is not about setting people up financially and monetarily to say, look, I'm giving you a comfortable whatever, now go away, stop talking, stop gabbing, and just go away. He's not about doing that, and he has done it. And now with the Devil card in the reverse, which is it does talk about liberation, it does talk about control, dependency, that sort of a thing. By giving, it's almost like he has made financial settlements with certain individuals to say, go away, I'm going to cut my cord with you, just go away. It's like saying, take the money and go. Keep your mouth shut. Buying somebody's silence. He has done that. So, I don't know if that individual is ever going to come forward and say, hey, you know, but I'm going to do some more cards. Hang on, for some reason the energy here is like, continue to do it. Put away these. you know what really saddens me now? Not everybody is blessed with that kind of a talent or that kind of an opportunity in life to, you know, accomplish whatever they've accomplished, right? Like in terms of the persona, the maybe even voice, although I really don't know much about his music because I don't subscribe to that. You know, and then these people get so greedy that they go ruin everything by becoming so avaricious and becoming so, I don't know, y'all. It's like, when is enough, right? When is enough? So can't you be happy with just what you've been blessed with and just try to accomplish it without having to do all these nefarious activities? Like, why are these people so drawn, so pulled into doing all these nefarious activities? It's become the norm, right? It's like, I don't get it. But then again, I suppose I'm like, what do you call, living under a rock or something like that. Sometimes I wish I would, like, no, I shouldn't say that. I don't want to be living under a rock, but there's something to be said about that, right? You're protected from all these crazy shenanigans that go out, that happen and occur in the world, right? I don't know why, but I feel like I need to change my deck. Hang on, everybody. We'll just get some closing cards. It's not looking good for him. That's what I'm going to say. It is most definitely not looking very good for him. John Combs. It's not looking good for him. Whichever way you cut it, slice it, dice it, julienne it, cube it, grate it, whatever. It is not looking good. Oh, wait. Oh, that's what I was going to do on that. I forgot all about it. Hello. Say there are two more people in that entertainment industry, that particular entertainment industry, who are also going to be brought down, y'all. Two more people. It's all in succession. It's like almost a ripple effect. Oh my word. Look, whatever cases have been filed against him, not all of it is going to stick. Some of it he's going to get away with. And he's also going to turn around and sue somebody else, and that case he's going to win. So I'm not saying he's going to go scot-free. He's definitely not going to go scot-free. It's not looking very good for him, whichever way he looks at it. But I almost feel like somebody else is going to be held responsible. Also, somebody else is going to get caught in the dragnet. Okay, two other people from that industry. Wait, and I'm also going to say that he's not innocent in any way, shape or form. Not at all. That's what I don't get. It's like, dude, like seriously, like why? Don't be surprised if you hear that he has been admitted to some sort of a medical facility because he's under a lot of mental and emotional stress. Don't be surprised if that comes out. And that's a ploy. I'm just going to say that. They're most definitely going to be coming out with that. As much as he is all like gung-ho and all like, you know, my shit don't stink type of thing, he is very well aware of the fact that power is an illusion, okay? In the sense, he knows that there are other people, there is a certain faction there is a certain faction of people who have been laying low and waiting for a right opportunity. So he's always had to watch his back. And he has got this twisted thing that the best way to watch my back is to go and do more of the same old BS and get more scope and more people. But I don't know how that is logical thinking, if you know what I mean, right? So Four of Pentacles, yeah, he's hanging on for dear life, baby. Hanging on for dear life. Eight of Swords. Oh, hello. He did it to himself. Well, he's done it to himself. And the Tower card, followed by the Ace of Pentacles. Ten of Wands. You can't make up this stuff, y'all. Let me tell you, you can't make up stuff like this. This is like Ten of Wands, Ten of Swords. Whoa. One more card. Two of Pentacles. Opportunities, options. Okay, let's look at it. Four of Pentacles, hanging on for dear life, very, very insecure, hanging on for dear life, trying to do whatever he possibly can at this moment to hang on. Okay, so the mindset is, even if I even if my bluff is called, and even if, you know, I go and, you know, I have to sit in an institution and serve time, I am going to do everything to set it up in such a way that my time will be short-lived and I can get out and pick up where I left off. So that greed is still there for the long-term security. So even though he knows that he is going to be having to pay for some of his mischief, he's hoping that he'll be able to get out and pick up where he left off. So that's the attitude that he's going into this with. So Eight of Swords is like, I understand that I am, it's self-imposed kind of a thing, so, or self-inflicted. But like I said, y'all, I would not be surprised if they come out with some sort of a, oh, he's had a nervous breakdown and, you know, he is currently, you know, in some sort of a facility where he can recover and take care of himself. They're going to try that, really. Then we have the Tower card. And his actions are going to be, like, he's going to be held, whatever he tries, right? Whatever he tries, whoever his advisors are, whatever he tries, his actions, he's going to be held accountable for some of his actions. Now, there will be, with the Ace of Pentacles over here popping up, there is going to be a need to, there is going to be a big settlement that he's going to have, an opportunity where, how shall I phrase it? Again, I'm not a legal person, like criminal law and all, I don't know, in terms of say, okay, you know, plead guilty type of situation. Okay, you have to pay this much fines or this much this or whatever. So there is going to be an opportunity for him to use that angle, and he is very, very burdened about, see, he does not want to let go of his power. He is very burdened by all that has been going on. Very, very, very burdened. So he is like, maybe I should take the advice of my advisors, and very burdened, because he does not know whether that's going to be a right decision. Because he's the only person who can make that decision, right? And whatever the outcome of that decision is, the onus is on him. So he is very burdened. He does not want to be the one to have to make that decision, but unfortunately, he's the only one who's going to have to make that decision. His attorneys, his legal team cannot do that for him. And with the Two of Pentacles, again, there are choices, he knows, but whichever decision he takes, it's going to end in the Ten of Swords. Like, no matter, like I said earlier, it's not looking good. It's not looking good for him any which way you cut it, slice it, dice it, whatever. Whatever decision he makes, it's not going to look very well for him. It's not going to look too good. I am actually concerned for his physical safety and security if he were to be in a place where he's kept under, if he were to be incarcerated. Like, I'm really concerned for his physical security if he were to be incarcerated. And I think he kind of knows that, and he's very, very concerned about it, right? So, look, y'all, in this day and age, again, let me preface this by saying this is for entertainment purposes only. These are my observations, my opinions. Allegedly, do your own research, do your own due diligence, and form your own conclusions. In this day and age, when you can bump off, presidents of countries, and you can, Alexei Navalny, people like that, you can bump them off and all that. I mean, who's this guy? He's like a small fry, right? So if you get, what I mean is, like, compared to all those big people, big people as in those folks who are so much more in the world, on the world stage, if they can bump them off, you think they can, like, okay, we have 5 Hierophant. He is most certainly going to be incarcerated. And his time while he's incarcerated is what I feel like he is going to have to be very careful with regards to his, yeah, 5 of Swords. There's going to be violence and that sort of a thing, physical violence, etc. attempts when he is incarcerated. If he is incarcerated, why he is incarcerated. I feel like when they're going to try very much to put him into solitary confinement for his own safety and security, but somehow that's not going to work for him. I get the feeling that his political alliances are trying to distance themselves from him because they have business dealings. So if he goes down, a lot of other people, their finances are going to come under the scrutiny of the general public. 3, the Empress. The 5 of Wands, there's a lot of fight. 9 of Cups. There is a connection to another female talent in the industry. I don't know why. And there's a lot of fighting about that. There's a lot of arguments about that. There's a lot of, I don't know why her energy is stepping forward here. very talented person in that same industry, female, her energy. There's a lot of fight, there's a lot of argument, there's a lot of feathers flying in the chicken coop, right? With regards to that individual. And then you have the Nine of Cups, which is like, okay, wish fulfillment, but why though? How do you end up having wish fulfillment? Like, it's almost like this whole drama with that female is almost like satisfying somebody emotionally. Oh, the Moon card, y'all. This is not looking good, y'all. Six of Swords. Okay. Six of Wands. So this individual, this female who is hoping is going to support him, and then you have your Eight of Pentacles, is going to do everything she possibly can to say, you know, I'm just going to wash my hands off this. I don't want to have anything to do with this. Whatever. I'm out of here. I'm gone. Sayonara. And for her, it's like, you served your purpose. I'm done with you. Ta-da. And going to be gone. And with the Moon card, that's a lot of deception. That is something that's also going to really affect this guy, because he's like, that's the ultimate deception, right? So he's going to be like, shit, you witch. Okay, don't twist my words. How could you do that? Well, okay, if that's the thing, you want to go, screw you, whatever. And I'm just going to be successful one way or the other. I'm going to continue to work on being successful. I'm going to keep this in the back of my pocket. See, he's the kind of a person, I'm going to stop this reading because it's getting a little too... he's the kind of a person who can be vengeful. There are two more people in that industry who are going to be dragged into this. So let me stop this, because then it kind of gets all over the map. All right, y'all. Thank you so very much for joining me on this little reading thingamajiggy. I hope you'll enjoy it. Please do leave your comments. Please help me grow. I really would like to get more views on my videos. I would really appreciate you folks if you could help with that. I'm trying to get more views, at least hit 500, right? And grow this channel. Thank you again. And if you have any recommendations in terms of, you know, any other cases, let me know. I will definitely consider it. And for those of you who are wanting your personal readings, please do visit my website. The information is in the description box, and you can pick the date and time of your reading, the kind of reading you want, and then you know, take it from there. And I do my readings live via Zoom. So thank you again, blessed be, and see you in the next video. Bye for now. All right, let's stop this.